Hi, my friends. I want to talk about working with the moon this week in your art journal because it's a great week to dive deep and get into that creative magic. So, let's talk about art journaling with the moon for the week of July 10th to the 16th, 2023, to practice our magic and tend to your soul. So, this week, the moon is in the waning phases as we're moving towards a new moon in Cancer. And those waning phases will hit the last quarter moon phases and the balsamic phases. Both of those phases are really great for doing some reflective, soulful work, which is also really helpful during the Cancer new moon. So those themes are kind of getting carried through for the this week and then again for the next 2 weeks in that new moon energy. The season we're in right now, of course, is the season of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. So, the theme that we've been working throughout this season is growing more good. And specifically this week, what we're doing is because Mercury is moving into Leo. So, whenever the moon has a relationship with the planet Mercury, it's going to draw down some of that energy. It's going to reflect it back to us. So, whatever Mercury is doing in Leo does and holds some importance when we're playing around with the energy of the moon because it will draw down that energy. And that's going to be happening a couple times this week. And because Mercury is just moving into that Leo sign, we're really focusing on speaking with confidence and also expressing ourselves emotionally and expressing ourselves, our true essence, because Leo is that sign that wants to shine bright. It's that sign that's connected with your true essence, your soul self, your like core self, in internal family speak, which I really love. So we'll be working with some of that energy this week as we art journal with the moon from Monday to Friday. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the moon this week. I'm going to give you more details and also more details specifically to where the energy of Mercury in Leo is going to be affecting you according to your birth chart. So if you have your birth chart handy, I would print that out, have it ready so that you can take a look at it and see where that energy is really being pulled and what areas of your life that energy is going to focus on. Those particular areas are going to get kind of like some extra boost this week as the moon draws down that energy. So it's helpful just to have an idea of where specifically in your life that energy is being focused on. So get out your birth chart if you have it already pasted into your art journal, which is a suggestion that I make, is just, print that birth chart out, especially in whole signs, because whenever I'm talking about art journaling with the moon, I'm using the whole sign system because I'm using that ancient astrology or that Hellenistic astrology. So print it out in the whole sign system. In my YouTube channel, I have a video to explain how to do that so that you can actually have your printed chart. And it's so helpful every single time the moon is in a certain sign, you get so much more specific about where that's affecting you personally. So I hope you enjoy the video and we'll see you soon. This week, Mercury moves into the sign of Leo, and every time the moon has a relationship with the planet Mercury, as I was mentioning earlier, it's going to draw down this helpful energy to us. In astrology, Mercury is known as the planet of communication, intellect, and expression. It represents how we process and share information, how we think and speak, and how we connect with others. It acts as a cosmic bridge, linking our thoughts and ideas to the outside world. It also acts as the bridge between the physical world and the world of spirit. Imagine this celestial messenger putting on these beautiful robes of Leo, that regal and passionate lion of the zodiac. That is a great combination. Leo, ruled by the sun, is a charismatic and expressive sign associated with creativity, self confidence, and leadership. When Mercury enters the sign of Leo, a transformative shift occurs in our communication style. The powerful energy of Leo imbues Mercury with the confidence to speak from the heart, authentically and passionately. During this time, we might find ourselves expressing our thoughts and ideas with more boldness or with more flair. and even maybe even feeling a little unafraid to take center stage. Leo's influence strengthens our self confidence, giving us the courage to express ourselves fully. During this time, we're more likely to believe in our own ideas, our own abilities, and our own worth. This newfound self assurance allows us to share our opinions and thoughts with authority, leading to conversations that are great and inspiring interactions. Under the influence of Mercury in Leo, our communication might even take on a creative or theatrical quality. We become natural storytellers, using vivid language and expressive gestures to captivate our audience. It's a time to let your imagination soar, infuse your words with drama and color, and leave a lasting impact on those who listen. Except, what happens when you're a highly sensitive person who tends to lean on the shy side and has a history of trauma and difficult childhood experiences? In a world that often celebrates extroversion and assertiveness, which is definitely Leo type qualities, it's important to recognize and honor the unique qualities of your intuitive, creative, highly sensitive nature. You possess a deep level of empathy, keen perception, and a heightened sensitivity to your environment. While your innate gifts are valuable, you probably face difficulties in feeling confident and speaking with conviction. At least I know I do. One of the primary reasons highly sensitive people struggle with confidence is their vulnerability to overstimulation. The intense input that we receive from our senses and our emotional experiences can overwhelm our nervous system, leading to feelings of anxiety and self doubt. Past instances of sensory overload can create a belief that our reactions are excessive or wrong, eroding our confidence in our own emotional responses. This is especially true if you have a trauma response that runs amok, which unfortunately most of us do. When we experience trauma, our already sensitive nature can intensify our reactions to triggers, leading to experiencing a dysregulated nervous system more often than most people. This dysregulation manifests as heightened emotional and physical responses, at making it challenging for us to feel calm or safe enough to speak with confidence. We are more often on high alert, anticipating potential threats and feeling anxious even in relatively safe situations. This heightened state of vigilance can undermine our confidence as we doubt our ability to handle social interactions or express ourselves without being overwhelmed. Past trauma can leave us with a fear or re triggering or re victimization. This fear can be rooted in a deep seated belief that expressing ourselves or setting boundaries might lead to negative consequences or further harm. Consequently, we may hesitate to speak up or assert ourselves, fearing the potential repercussions. Highly sensitive creators and healers also tend to absorb and internalize criticism more deeply. Even minor feedback or perceived rejection can significantly impact our self esteem. Negative experiences, particularly those related to being told we are too sensitive or overreacting, can shape our belief that our feelings and opinions are not valid or worthy of expression. These accumulated experiences really often contribute to our self doubt and our hesitancy in speaking up. As you can see, there's a lot of really valid reasons why you might struggle to speak with confidence, even with Mercury moving into Leo. So please don't ever beat yourself up for that. But if you're like me, you don't want your sensitivities to run your life. You want to support them so the challenges they bring are tended to and the superpowers that naturally come with them take center stage instead. So, this week in our art journals, we're going to work with the moon to help us speak with confidence or at least take some important steps in that direction. I think this is a great week to follow along in your art journal with the prompts. If you're, especially if you're a healer or artist or a creative entrepreneur who knows it's time to embrace becoming visible and sharing yourself and your creations with the world and maybe even showing up more on social media, it's hard to be of service or share your art with those who need it if no one knows who you are or what you do. So, this is good inner work to do. So, let's tend to your soul and your nervous system so you can take those baby steps in that direction. So, as you're noticing with this diagram, the moon is moving into the new moon. It's going through those waning phases. as it's moving towards that new moon in Cancer. Now, on Monday specifically, the moon is moving into Taurus in the evening. There's also some happy relationships that you can see there with Mars and Venus, and a tense relationship with Pluto in Mercury. So you might want to be a little mindful with your communication on Monday, but it's a good day to pour your feelings onto the page in your art journals. So the prompt for that day is actually just to create some free flowing art without judgment, then reflect on the emotions and thoughts that emerged as you created it. Because it's really difficult to speak with confidence or even to express your true self if you don't even know what you think or feel. So let's, right from the beginning, just start by getting centered and connected with what you think and feel. And that moon on Monday is a great moon for that. On Tuesday, the moon is having a happy relationship with Saturn and a intense relationship with Jupiter, and it's in the sign of Taurus. So it's a good day to watch for blessings from Jupiter because that expansive, growing energy of Jupiter likes to send some blessings our way. It's also a good day to center, ground, and grow the feeling of safety in your body. So in our art journal, we're going to fill our pages with doodles until you feel calm. There are more specific instructions that I share on my blog. So you can take a look at the blog entry for this week and scroll down to Tuesday, and you'll see some really good instructions for how to work with doodles to calm and center your body. Because again, it really helps to be in that calm state in order to express your true self or to speak with confidence. On Wednesday, the moon is having a tense relationship with Venus and a happy relationship with Neptune. That happy relationship with Neptune really amplifies our sensitivities and helps us connect to our spirit allies. It is also having an intense relationship with Uranus, but it's still a good day to center, ground, and grow that feeling of safety in your body. So, we're going to deepen that feeling of safety by drawing a simple outline of flowers or leaves and then just coloring it in as you mindfully focus on feeling calm. So, just using that act of coloring to slow things down in the nervous system and really recognize, oh, I can express myself in my art journal while feeling calm. On Thursday, the moon is really busy. It's kind of having a lot of relationships with other planets. And there's even a happy relationship with Mercury, who is in Leo. So it's that good day for working on feeling confident, expressing yourself in the world, and speaking your feelings and opinions because they matter. So in your art journal, draw, paint, or collage an image of you speaking confidently in a scenario where you normally feel anxious or scared. So you're going to like think of a situation that normally makes you feel anxious or scared. Perhaps that's speaking in public. Maybe it's speaking your opinion out to someone you know tends to, go into conflict with you over having different opinions. Or maybe it's just showing up on social media and you want to do that more for your business, but you feel nervous or scared doing it, or it activates your nervous system. So just focus on what it would feel or look like if you could do that confidently and express yourself with ease. On Friday, the moon is a little quieter. It's not drawing down any energy from other planets, and it's in that balsamic phase. So it's really going into that dark moon. It's a good day to commune with your deepest, truest self and speak from the heart and value your unique perspective so you can share your genuine thoughts and emotions with others. Because aligning your words with your true self is just going to naturally cultivate confidence in your voice. So create in our journal, we're going to work on creating a collage that represents your true self because the more you are connected with your core self or your true essence or your higher self, whatever you want to, however you term that, the more you're connected with that, the easier it is to just flow naturally in your expression and to just naturally feel more confident because you're more tuned in with who you really are. Now, when it comes to your birth chart, we're going to look specifically, um, at the birth chart and where that Leo energy is getting focused on every time the moon is having a relationship with Mercury. So You want to draw up your birth chart in the whole sign house system. If you haven't done that yet, I have a video on my channel that will help you to do that. But you specifically need that whole sign house system to work with this in your art journal in this way. And what we're going to look at is in that whole sign system, you'll see that there are 12 houses. So it's like 12 pieces of the pie chart. And each astrological house in your birth chart represents different areas of your life. So when we're using the whole sign house system, each house will also be represented by a different zodiac sign. So wherever Leo lands on your birth chart, so what you do is you just look and find where on your birth chart Leo is. Is it in the first house, which means Leo is your rising sign? Or is it in your second house? Or is it in your third house? You just go and look for where Leo is, find the house that it's associated, and notice the topics or the areas of your life that Leo is managing or that Leo is influencing. And wherever Leo lands on your birth chart, it's going to flavor it with that Leo energy. So it's going to flavor those areas of your life or those topics with that energy. And those areas of your life is where you will tend to be more reliable or loyal. It's also where you will have a desire to be challenged or engaged. It's where you'll have a tendency to be more active, where you'll want to search for excitement, where you'll want to be solid and steady, where you'll establish a pattern or a way of doing things. And those topics or those areas of your life is also where you'll tend to see things through to the end, or where you'll want to do things your own way, or where you'll want more routine and consistency. It's also the areas of your life where you will find meaning. So that's why the Leo part is helpful because on some level, that's uh, somewheres where you feel passionate. It's also where you seek wisdom. And it's also an area of your life where you'll tend to shine. So it'll be close to your heart. You'll be deeply connected to it. You'll also develop your creativity here. You'll invest personal energy here. And you'll want to be loved or you will find love here. You'll be more playful and spontaneous in these areas of your life. You'll also be more connected to children here or to your own inner child here. You'll also thrive on attention or respect, and you'll tend to be more bold or courageous in the areas of your life that Leo is in charge of. It's also the areas of your life where you'll tend to be more independent or self reliant and where you'll express your true essence here. So if your rising sign is Aries, you'll notice that Leo is in your fifth house. So this week, if your rising sign is Aries, because I'm just going to go through the moon this week according to your rising sign. So the moon this week, according to your rising sign, if you are Aries, the moon is moving from your first house to your fourth house. And the fourth house is where we're going to have that new moon energy in Cancer. But that moon in Leo energy is happening in your fifth house. So you're expressing your true self and speaking with confidence when it comes to romance or a creative project or your relationship with your creativity or your sex life, your parenting, children, or your relationship with joy and pleasure. Now, if your rising sign is Taurus, the moon is moving from your 12th house to your third house this week. And that Mercury in Leo energy is in your fourth house. So you're expressing your true self or speaking with confidence when it has to do with your living situation, your home, your relationship with your parents or your childhood or your emotional foundation or your ancestors. If your rising sign is Gemini, the moon is moving from your 11th house to your second house. And that new moon in Cancer that's coming up is going to be focused on your second house. So that's important to know for next week. But this week, that Mercury in Leo energy is in your third house. So you're expressing your true self and speaking with confidence when it comes to the way you communicate, when it comes to your relationship with your siblings or your peers or your neighbors, or in your relationship with the goddess and moon or earth based rituals. If your rising sign is Cancer, the moon is moving through your 10th house all the way to your first house. And that Mercury in Leo energy is happening in your second house. So you're expressing your true self and speaking with confidence in your relationship with money and finances and assets and income, or the way you earn a living. If your rising sign is Leo, the moon is moving through your ninth house all the way to your 12th house. So that Mercury in Leo energy is happening in your 12th house. So you're expressing your true self or speaking with confidence when it comes to your relationship. This is actually wrong somehow. I have the wrong oh no, this is right. I am mistaken. It is the right information. I am mistaken. What is mistaken here is Mercury in Leo is in your first house, not your 12th house. So this is a typo right here. But that Mercury in Leo is happening in your first house, which has to do with confidence, which has to do with your body, your identity, your sense of vitality, your appearance, or your spirit. And that Virgo energy, if your rising sign is Virgo, the moon is moving from your 8th house through your 11th house. And this is where Mercury is moving into Leo in your 12th house. So that energy of expressing your true self and speaking with confidence is happening in the areas of your life that have to do with your relationship with the infinite, or your shadows, or your deep inner work, or your secrets, or your subconscious mind, or your secret aspirations. With Libra, if your rising sign is Libra, the moon is moving through your 7th to your 10th house. And that Mercury in Leo energy is actually going to be in your 11th house. So you're expressing your true self and you're speaking with confidence in your friendships, in your groups, in your communities, or in your hopes and wishes. So you want to think about that this week as you're art journaling with the moon, as we focus on expressing your true self. You want to think about those particular areas of your life. If your rising sign is Scorpio, the moon is moving through your 6th house all the way to your 9th house, and that Mercury in Leo energy is in your 10th house. So you're expressing your true self and speaking with confidence when it comes to your career, your reputation, how you see yourself professionally, or your relationship with hard work. If your rising sign is Sagittarius, the moon is moving from the 5th house to the 8th house, and Mercury in Leo is in your 9th house. So you're exploring, expressing your true self and speaking with confidence when it has to do with long distance travel, or your spirituality, or your faith, or your higher learning, or publishing, or your relationship with enthusiasm and the future. If your rising sign is Capricorn, the moon is moving from your 4th house all the way to your 7th house. And that Mercury in Leo energy is happening in your 8th house. So you're learning to express your true self and speak with confidence when it comes to your psyche, or when it comes to shared money, or when it comes to any debt. That can be financial debt, but it also can be ancestral debt or emotional debt, or your relationship with taxes, and also your relationship with death. So there might be something there that you have to express or speak or share your opinion on one of those topics. With that Aquarius rising sign, the moon is moving through your 3rd house all the way to your 6th house. That Mercury in Leo will be in your 7th house. So you're learning to express your true self and speak with confidence when it comes to a really intimate relationship, or your marriage, or an important partnership of some kind, or your relationship with harmony, balance, or compromise. And if your rising sign is Pisces, the moon is moving from your 2nd house to your 5th house. And that Mercury in Leo energy is happening in your 6th house. And so you're expressing your true self and speaking with confidence when it comes to your health routines, or the things that make you feel unwell, or your history with illness, or your work routines, or the relationship with a beloved pet, or your relationship with details and order. So I hope you enjoyed the update for the moon this week, and I hope you take out your art journal and explore those areas of your life, especially when it comes to expressing your true self and speaking with confidence.